Alright guys, just a disclaimer before you check out this video. The matchup that you see between Diamond Dallas Page and Scott Hall is not the match that I played, and thus, like in typical WWE games fashion, no issues occurred. Yes, so you know what it's like. You have so many issues, then you try something fresh and you get no problems, but I digress. Here's the video with an amazingly botch-free match. Cheers, ref. Have you ever had a really bad day with WWE 2K20?
Oh yeah!
That's what I'm having today, and if you have had one, I'd love to hear what the problem was in the comment section below, because I wasn't planning to do this video today. I actually had another one in mind, but I've had so many issues with the same problem, and I think it's worth covering, that I thought let's talk about it because it does need to be addressed for future WWE games. And what I'm talking about is if you've tried something that you think should be very simple to do within the game, and you try it once, it doesn't succeed, fair enough. You try again, it doesn't quite work out. Third time's the charm, maybe, it doesn't work. And you try it again and again and again, and that same issue crops up where you just get to the point where you think, forget it, it's not worth it today, I'll try again tomorrow. And that's what I've had today. Now what I was trying to do was I was trying to set up a signature and a finisher, and I just wanted a clear run of it. And one of the moves, I don't want to give too much away in terms of specifics, because I'm actually working on a video that I want to show you guys. It's not WrestleMania, but I wanted to set up these two moves, and one of them was a springboard off the middle rope. So that was the first move, and it was going to lead to a secondary move, which was a finisher. And when I was trying to work this sequence, which to me is very simple and very easy to pull off, it should be. It wasn't the fact that I couldn't do the two moves. It wasn't the fact that I couldn't, do the move off the rope, then set up the finisher. No, none of that. It was actually the fact that someone kept getting in the way. And what I'm talking about is the referee. Now, I've actually spoke about the referee a few times before on the channel in previous years and said that the referee needs improvement. And what's interesting about this is whenever I get to play the game for the first time, I always think, there's been improvement. The referee seems to know his placing and his coordination in the ring, and it always looks quite good to me. And then when I get the game and I've played it for a little while, got used to it, I start to notice once again that the referee just doesn't quite seem to know how to stay out of the action. And there are actual bugs which almost draw the referee in. And these problems really do need to be addressed in the next installment of the WWE games franchise. They do, because that should not be happening. And examples of this are when you Irish whip someone to the corner. Sometimes the ref is pulled in towards that corner, so as you're about to follow it up, you can't. Sometimes even when you just send a superstar to the corner, the ref heads the same way, which again leads to a collision. There's another example of when you're trying to do a suicide dive or an oh my god dive. You go to do that, and because that is a preset sequence within the game, so you can't control where you're running, your direction. That is all. Once you hit triangle, if it is an oh my god, or you decide to do the suicide dive, once you've hit that button and you go for it, it's all in the CPU's hands. And the trouble is, the referee doesn't go with the flow. He doesn't take a step back, he doesn't remove himself from the action, he just stays put. And what tends to happen there is you end up running through the referee or just kind of glitching through the referee. And you don't just do it once, obviously, you do it twice as you bounce the ropes. So, you know, these are two examples, and the example that I had today was every time I tried to do the springboard move, he would step in and then he would be in that gap where I was doing my springboard move and he can't be there. He cannot be there. He has to be anywhere else but there. So it's almost like he doesn't understand his boundaries, and he definitely needs to take a step back, and there needs to be perimeters set up around him. There needs to be red zones, there needs to be amber zones, and there needs to be green zones. Maybe like a traffic light system. That's what it's done to me today. I can't even get my words out. But there needs to be something set up that he knows that, for example, if you're going to go for a finisher, he needs to stay in a green zone, which I would say is a corner. And the red zone is wherever you're lining up that finisher. He can't go into red zones, something like that. I'm sure there are perimeters set up around him. I just don't know how strict that they are. But nothing should magnetize him in. And I have to be honest, there is a feeling at times that he is drawn either to your opponent or you for no apparent reason. It's almost like, you know, he feels attached to you, so he has to kind of step in and be close. And I don't want him being close to me. I want him to stay the hell away so I can finish off my sequence. So I'd implement, you know, red zones, amber zones and green zones, and I would say that for at least 90% of the match, the referee should be in a green zone. He only ventures into amber or red when he's going for submissions and, you know, he's calling that to see if you're going to submit, or if he steps in to count the pin, because he's got to be close to the action to perform either of those two things. But if he's not, then he just needs to stay aside in the green zone. And it would be very interesting to know what 2K have set up for a referee, and if it's something they've worked on over the years. I don't feel like there's been major improvements to the referee year in, year out, particularly when you see bugs, like I say, where it feels like a magnetic field that the superstar is, you know, trying to get away from the ref, but the ref just keeps on pulling himself back towards you. That to me feels like there's a bug there, but you haven't found it, or you haven't bothered to fix it. I don't know, but there are problems, and it kind of makes it interesting for 2K20, because there is kind of talk from no particular indefinite source, but there is kind of rumours around having special guest referees. That's what people have been asking for quite some time. We just saw at WWE Stomping Ground a special guest referee. So that could be something that they're bringing back to WWE games. And if they are, then I would like to think that they will take the referee aspect slightly more seriously and look more in depth at how the referee works. Because if then you're going to have those matches, they're only going to work if the referee respects the boundaries, superstar or not. They need to respect what's going on with the action inside the ring. They also need to be able to work between the camera cuts, because that's another area which is a bit of a bug problem. Have you ever had the referee's arse right in front of the camera? I've had that, and I don't want a face full of arse. No, no, no. This is not that type of game. But it happens. And it does because the referee has no recognition of when the camera cut has taken place, and so he continues on his path to move around and he just walks in front of the camera cut. So again, that's a problem. The referee needs to work with these things. He needs to be tied in. He needs to be in touch with these so he doesn't make the mistake and he doesn't spoil your match or your visual experience. And I don't know about you, but the visual experience is important to me. Because overall, bar anything else, GM modes, universe modes, the main thing that you're going to do in a WWE game is play matches. So, you know, with the introduction of 2K Towers, playing matches, exhibition, playing matches, all match types, you're playing matches. Obviously, it's the biggest bulk of the game is playing a match. So in theory, that should be where everything is ironed out, and that should be the best part of the game, playing the matches. And when you have bugs like this with the referee being drawn in or just kind of stepping in the way and you're like, oh no, why? That ruins that gaming experience. Yeah, sometimes it's quite funny, but it's not quite funny if you're having a 5-star match and you're thinking, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I really want to show people that match. And the thing they take away from it is not all the cool moments that you put into your match. It's simply the fact that the ref got his arse in the way of the camera. You see what I mean? So anyway, I think that's the perfect time to end this video. Yeah, an arse in the face is enough, and I think I've said enough. So I want to get your views and opinions. What do you think can be improved when it comes to the referees in WWE games? Would you like the referee removed, which is more of a step backwards than it is forward? Or what sort of rules and stipulations would you put around the referee to make him much better in ring so he doesn't get involved in the action? I'll leave it up to you. I'd love to hear your suggestions and ideas, and I'd also love to hear your problems that you've had when you've just had a bad day with a WWE game. So let me know, and I'm off to try again, I think. Wish me luck.